Alright, what's going on YouTube? We are back with another Baldur's Gate 3 mod video. This time we're going to be doing a follow-up to Dawnstar's Psychic Weapon spells. Last time we checked out the spell pack. It was still in early access on Patreon. I believe at the time of this video, I'll correct it in the description or somewhere on the screen whenever it's fully released. But as of now, it's still on his Patreon, but I believe it should be released on Nexus and mod.io soon enough. Last time we made a video, we checked out the levels 1 through 3, which I'll leave a link in the description below as well as somewhere on the screen now to go check out that video. So you can see the spells you get for levels 1 through 3 for sorcerers, wizards, I want to say druids, and any other magic-based characters such as bards. So today we're going to be checking out the rest of the spells, which is going to be levels 4 through 6. As always, we'll go ahead and read the description, and then we'll demonstrate what the spells look like and some of their effects. We probably won't do a combat scenario, so this will be a shorter video. I find that you guys really do enjoy some of these shorter videos, just showcasing the abilities, more so than going through the combat scenario. However, if there are certain mods that you want to see for combat, let me know, and then I'll try and make separate videos for those to show strictly combat scenarios based on a couple of mods I may have showcased in the past. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So, starting off at level 4, we have Mind Reaper. Sweep a massive psychonic scythe through the area, cleaving enemies' minds and siphoning a quarter of their damage dealt as hit points. Essentially, a quarter of the damage that you do will be reverted back into hit points for yourself. He does 6 to 48 psychic damage, has a wisdom save modifier here. The second level 4 spell that we get is a Psionic Swordfall. Suspend Psionic Swords in the air at a target location. When an enemy enters the area, the blades plunge downward, impaling creatures caught within and potentially stunning them. This lasts until long rest. It doesn't seem to be a concentration spell, which is actually pretty interesting. I would expect something gets to be concentration unless there's a limited number of blades that are summoned on the field. So definitely curious to see that. At level 5, we get Blade Barrage. Fire psionic swords in a line, damaging the psyche of creatures hit. Can be recast without expending a spell slot until the spell ends, which is interesting because this is a concentration spell. It lasts for 10 turns, so that means each turn you can recast this for free. So think of the lightning spell, Lightning Strike, I believe is what it is, to where you can repeatedly cast that as long as you don't break concentration. So pretty strong spell, does 4 to 32 points of damage, psychic damage, but however, you can recast this for free as long as you're in that whole concentration for 10 turns. The second level 5 spell that we get, Psionic Blade Field. Surround yourself with rotating psychic blades. Nearby enemies take 5 to 40 psychic damage per turn, and their movement speed is half. This is also a concentration spell. The caster cannot be invisible when concentrating on this spell, so you can't cast invisibility and then cast this. So I think that's what the most concentration spells, where you can't have both running at the same time. It does 5 to 40 psychic damage, and movement speed is half. So pretty cool to kind of make an escape, or if they're close to killing an enemy that's nearby, or if you play as the Blade Slinger class. This is actually pretty potentially good to combo some of your abilities. And then finally, at level 6, we have Psychic Bombardment. Launch 3 psychic bombs that detonate on impact. Each explosion deals 4 to 24 psychic damage in a 4-meter radius. Creatures with psychic bleeding take an additional 1 to 6 psychic damage from each explosion. So to give you a little bit of the flavor text here for psychic bleeding. It takes 4 psychic damage at the start of each turn and has disadvantage on Constitution saving throws. Now, some of the other abilities I believe early on actually do provide psychic bleed, so we'll try and demonstrate that as well to kind of show the effects of that. And then finally, we have our last spell here, last level 6 spell, Mind Guard Surge. Send out a barrage of psychic shields that batter enemies and bolster allies. Enemies in the area may fall prone. Allies caught in the blast gain resistance to all damage until the end of the next turn. So for 1 turn, you'll gain resistance to all damage. Pretty strong shield, does 4 to 32 points of psychic damage, but it's more so the protection of the allies and the ability to make enemies go prone. So those are the new spells that you'll get, and that will round out the psychic weapon spells. So next, we'll go ahead and showcase them on our dummy here, and then we'll just kind of give our overall thoughts on the spells themselves. Alright, so we're going to start off with Mind Reaper. Now, you can't upscale this. As you see, the upscale does more damage, but use the additional spell slot. So we need to get a little bit closer here. Pretty good range, all things considering. Have to be typically within 3 meters, roughly, within 3 meters to catch enemies in effect. So we'll go ahead and cast that and take a look at the effect. Again, I like Dawnstar spells because he puts in a lot of effort into the abilities as well as the effects. So definitely some of the cooler spells that we've seen. But as you see, it's pretty simple. If you upscale, it does more damage. So next we'll go ahead and do Sonic Swordfall. So we'll back up a little bit. So there you go. See, as they stun the enemy, so what we can do is actually back up a little bit. And then we'll try and get the enemy to go into the field itself to show that off. So we'll cast it out here. And as you can see, the swords will stay hovering in the air until the enemy crosses that threshold. So we'll go ahead and end our turn. How long is he stunned for? Okay, so he's out of stun, so we'll go ahead and... There we go. As you can see, the spell took effect as he stepped into the radius. He wasn't stunned as long, but you get the general gist of what that ability can do.
So much for peace.
So Blade Barrage. I think that looks really cool. Again, I really love the effects of these spells, and how they affect, how the effects look. So we can't upcast that if we like, but we can also cast that here for free without wasting an additional spell slot. Now upcasting will obviously do more damage. And we can see it also works with upcasting, so we get the upcast version of Blade Barrage if we upcast it, which does 5 to 40 psychic damage. Next up, we have Psionic Blade Field. Surround yourself with rotating psychic blades nearby. Enemies will take 5 to 40 psychic damage, so now we have the blades around us, so if we get a little bit closer, you can see the enemy does take damage whenever we enter and exit the area, so we can do it again. Next up, we have Psychic Bombardment. So see, you can cast it up to 3 times in different areas, so if you wanted to kind of space it out a bit. Sends out 3 bombs. You can also do this directly on enemies if you like. Does a pretty good amount of damage. Now again, you have to have the Psychic Bleeding effect to be able to fully utilize, which will give that additional 1d6 psychic damage from each explosion. I believe from the abilities that we do have, I believe one of these may cause psychic bleeding, if I'm not mistaken. Well, in any case, it does additional 1d6 damage if you do psychic bleeding, which other spells will have that psychic bleeding condition. And then finally, we have Mind Guard Surge. Now, because he did disappear, because we did affect our ally, we can see, though, that the Mind Guard Surge did take effect on our allies. The shield goes around, and they're resistant to all damage for 3 turns. So, again, a lot of these abilities are well balanced out. They're pretty powerful, but they're not broken, I would say. I think it's just a lot of fun and kind of give more freedom and more playstyle if you really want to do like a pure psychic character. I think just like the Necromancer or some of the elemental ones that we've showcased in the past from Dawnstar, I think it just adds in a lot of a variety and a lot of potential to make different characters within Baldur's Gate 3. So I highly recommend you check him out. Check out his Patreon. Check out his page on Nexus as well. And like I said before, as of the making of this video, it's still up on Patreon for early access, but it will be released onto Nexus and the mod.io. So again, if you want to wait for it to be free, just hold off on those for those pages. But if you want to support the author, go ahead and check out his Patreon. I'll have that link down below. I just want to say thank you guys for being patient with me for making these videos. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent. It's just been kind of hard with personal stuff going on, but I'm not going to bore you guys with the details here. I'm going to try and start releasing more videos and also give like early access to videos via the membership system. So if you want to be a member for as little as 99 cents, I'll start posting videos a couple of days earlier so you guys have first access to that. So again, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to follow me on Discord, Twitter. Also be sure to come by the streams. I stream both on YouTube and on Twitch. So whatever your preference is, all that should be down in the description below. And I'll catch you guys later. Take care.